Hey guys, I'm IzDaisho and I'm here bringing you some Hearthstone, and today I'm going to be playing a Spell Power Rogue deck. And this deck is a little bit different than the standard Miracle Rogue, which for those of you who don't know what it is, it's a deck that tries to control the early game with backstabs and SI7 agents and Eviscerates and Shiv and stuff like that. Deadly Poison. So it tries to control the early game and then drop a Gadgetzin Auctioneer and then basically draw its entire deck. So it's going to play stuff like Preparation and More Shiv and Fan of Knives and stuff that'll just keep drawing and drawing and drawing because you have your Gadgetzin Auctioneers out. And then it'll play something like Conceal after either playing a Edwin Van Cleef, or it will just set up for Conceal set up for the next turn where it can play two Shadow Steps on Leroy Jenkins and Cold Bloods and stuff like that, and basically just kill your opponent in a couple of turns in ways that they can't really interact with. And that's not exactly what this deck is trying to do, but it has some similarities. It tries to play Gadgetzin Auctioneer and then play a couple of cheap spells, but basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to clear the board, keep the board clear with Fan of Knives and Eviscerate, and then I'm just trying to kill them with stuff like Head Crack or like a big double Eviscerate turn, or just steady damage with Deadly Poison and then start beating them down with my creatures. So it's a little bit less, or I mean it's not like less consistent because I do have Head Crack, and as long as I'm not playing against Priest or Warrior, that'll just eventually kill them on its own. And if I am playing against Priest or Warrior, there's a good chance I can get something like a Blood Mage Downhouse or Delarian Mage, Cobalt Geomancer, or Azure Drake out. And I don't know, this deck has a lot of card advantage, and it's a pretty fun deck to play and watch. So I figured I'd play some ladder with it, because right now the ladder got reset, so I'm like level 20 or something. Yep, level 20. And yeah, let's play some games. Should be fun. I do like playing with this deck, and I think that you guys will enjoy watching it. The decisions are sometimes a little bit difficult and hard to see, but for the most part, it's a simple deck, and I don't think that it's like too complicated for anyone to play. But yeah, the main difference between this and Miracle Rogue is that I'm not trying to draw my entire deck. Sometimes does happen, but I'm not like specifically trying to. So my opponent's playing a Warlock. They are level 23, so I'm not really sure what to expect. Any hand, there's no way I want this Head Crack. I think I'm actually going to keep the rest, though. Crazed Alchemist is really good if my opponent plays a turn 1 Shield Bearer, and it could be useful in other situations. You never know. I mean, this card is kind of just a test run, and I'll see how good it is in the deck and how useful and necessary it is, and if it's not, then I'll take it out, and if it is good, then I'll keep it in. But, I mean, there are some situations where, especially when I'm playing damage, or a lot of damage things, then there's a lot of situations where it can be very useful. That was a pretty good draw. I was just going to coin out an SI7 agent next turn, but it's pretty good just to take it out right away and not take any damage from it. I can still use the coin SI7 agent for a different turn, and this is looking pretty good so far. My opponent's playing an aggro Warlock, and I think that my deck is pretty good against them because I do have I need to think what I want to do here. I do have a lot of mass removal because I'm burning 2 Blade Furies and 2 Fan of Knives, and normally that wouldn't be so good. That would be like, oh, well, that's only like 1 damage across the board. But all my spell power guys make it really, really useful, and Fan of Knives is just a really valuable card. I think what I'm going to do here, though, is just Dagger, pass the turn, just in case I do have the Deadly Poison in hand. So if I want to play it, I want to make sure it's on a fresh Dagger. And, I mean, I might end up losing some damage if my opponent doesn't do anything this turn, yeah. Because I could have just... Actually, I think I actually will just Deadly Poison here and start getting in, because I really don't want my opponent to be able to keep drawing forever, because eventually he'll be able to get a mass amount of things that I can't really deal with well, and then that won't be good. And he had a Swamp Ooze. It's a little bit awkward. Alright, that's fine though. Let's see, I've got 5 mana, so I can SI7 agent and still pull off a dagger. And now I don't have a Deadly Poison in hand, so it's not going to be worth it. I could have Preparation, I could have like done Blood Mage Downhouse. I could have just done Blood Mage Downhouse, coin, Fan of Knives, but this is a little better because it gets this 3 power thing on board. I can put some more pressure on my opponent that way. Alright. Looks like my opponent is a little bit more aggressive than I thought. There's a Gadgetsin. I don't have any spell power out though, so I can't just drop Gadgetsin, coin, or preparation, Fan of Knives, because that won't do anything. Well, actually it kind of does, because Gadgetsin, preparation, Fan of Knives turns this into a 1-2, whatever, but it turns this into a 3-4, and I can hit it with that and that, kill it, and I get to draw a bunch of cards off the Gadgetsin. I think I'm going to try this play, and also Gadgetsin is in a position where it still will survive. And there's a Blade Flurry, that doesn't really help. Yeah, I'm going to do this. So I draw a card for that. Ooh, Black Knight, that would have been a nice one this turn. Yeah, draw 2 cards that way. Yeah, I think this is better than just killing that, because then there's a very good chance he could have like a Mortal Coil to take this out. He might still be able to kill this, but even so, I already got a couple of cards off of it, and I only have a couple more spells in hand, so it's not really that big of a deal. Yeah, something like that is kind of to be expected. Could Crazed Alchemist it to survive the attack, but I don't know. This is a strange little deck that my opponent has concocted. Alright, let's see what we can do here. So I could just Crazed Alchemist this, Weapon Up, and Blade Flurry, but I don't think I need to do that. I could just Blood Mage Thalnos and do the same thing.
So many options.
There are a lot of options here. Could just like Black Knight, kill that, eat that. Black Knight should be a little bit better because I saw my opponent's playing at least one bigger taunt. He's probably playing a couple more somewhere along the deck. Alright, I think what I'm just going to do is hit that, dagger up, hit that. It's not the sexiest play, but I think it'll end up being the best one. Conserve my resources, not in any real danger. I guess maybe I am. I mean, my opponent's got 6 cards in hand, so I kind of do want to commit to the board a little bit at this point, but... Alright, so this looks like it'll be a pretty good turn for me. I'll be able to drop a Chillwind Yeti, kill his 3/3, and then trade there. And I will attack. So now my opponent's got 7 cards in hand to my 7, except I have a 4/5 on board. Now, I mean, my hand, when I get a lot of cards in my hand, it's very, very beneficial for me. And I also have a spell damage and a Fan of Knives, which is nice, or spell damage and Blade Flurry, so I could also just next turn like do Blood Mage Thalnos, Fan of Knives, Blade Flurry, depending on how powerful that'll be. Or, Fan of Knives, I mean. Alright, so let's try that, because I need to take out that 6/6 in some way, and this is probably the best way to do it. And we'll see what we draw here, just a Delaran Mage. Okay, so... yeah, we'll trade there, and I'm gonna go for a head crack here. There's actually just a chance that I kill my opponent next turn. Well, it doesn't seem likely. No, I don't think there is actually. Well, I can draw an Eviscerate, and then that'll do it. Unless my opponent kills my Blood Mage Thalnos. Ooh, that's actually a very good one right here. What is my opponent doing with his deck? He's just all over the place. Alright, so let's see, it's going to be 2, 3, 5, 7. So, this is going to be 4 damage. Yeah, I think we've got it. It's also the best play. So there was that turn in the middle where I like turn 6 where I just played 2 mana worth of stuff and I just had a whole bunch of other stuff in hand that I didn't feel like casting. That might have been a mistake, but overall these games are not that hard to win. My opponents are playing like pretty weak decks. That's why I decided to play this deck during them, because it still makes my decisions interesting, and it's not like I'm playing Druid midrange where if my opponent isn't playing a streamlined deck, they're not going to stand a chance. These kinds of games, they're not really close, but they are sort of close. But anyway, on my spreadsheet where I'm keeping track of all my wins or losses, I have a section for fake decks where it's just my opponent doesn't have the right cards or whatever, and that way it won't screw up my actual rankings, and it won't skew it to being like the decks that I played from ranks 25 to 10 or whatever are really or seem really good because they have a high win percentage because I played against bad people. But anyway, Warlock.
Watch your back.
So I don't think I want those two in hand, and I actually don't think no, maybe I do want the Blood Mage down this. Could be pretty useful if I have like a backstab or something like that. Delirium Mage is not that good. Delirium Mage is obviously a really bad card. It's just I needed another cheap spell damage, and he was like the only option, so. Alright. Fan of Knives. So like by the time I can do Fan of Knives plus Blood Mage Talnos, it'll be a long time. I'm really just considering eviscerating that right now, because that won't be till turn 5. I think I'm gonna do that. It seems like a bit of a waste because I have to use a coin and a 2-drop to get rid of one of his 1-drops, and it's not like he can't reproduce a 3/2 on board. But I think I sort of needed to do something like that early in the game. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this plays out. But
The light protects me.
all right. That's pretty good for me, that my opponent didn't have anything more than just that on this turn. And I can just use this dagger to kill it, and I'll do another attack next turn. Unless, of course, my opponent plays a Shattered Sun here.
We must cleanse
Yep,
the sunlight.
of course. But that's okay. I can play my Delirium Mage this turn, and it's going to be able to take out both of his creatures regardless of how he plays it, because if he attacks both of them into it, then they'll both be X1s, and if he doesn't, then I'll be able to Fan of Knives. So basically it gives me some...
We must cleanse the
Or he could
sunlight.
just do that. And now I have to wait another turn before I can Fan of Knives, unless I draw Blade Flurry right here. That would be basically my best draw. No, but I do have a backstab, so actually that's fine. So I can just backstab this, and then SI7 agent this. And then all he's left is with a 2/2, less cards than me, and I have a 3/3. But he has a good hero ability, so he can definitely still come back. But now I have the ability to drop Blood Mage into Fan of Knives or Blood Mage into Eviscerate if he's got a bigger creature. So definitely looks like the early aggression has been halted, and I can start winning this game basically. That's a good one. Yeah, we can actually just wipe his board here. I'm not going to use the spell power from that here, but yeah.
This guy's toast. Hey, lights out.
Here we go.
And I guess I hope my opponent doesn't have a Mortal Coil, but I mean, like, something's going to get Mortal Coiled eventually. It doesn't pay to not play X1s or not play or not attack into things that'll make your creatures 3/1s, because you just have to deal with the fact that Mortal Coils exist, and just because they do doesn't mean you can't, you have to play around them. And this is going to be a really good Crazed Alchemist. Yeah, it's going to be a really good Crazed Alchemist here. Let me think if there's a better way to do this. I could just Fan of Knives it, because I want to kill this anyway, and then I would have to dagger up and hit with my face. But I don't think that's such a big deal. I can save the Crazed Alchemist, but Crazed Alchemist isn't going to get much better. Probably. Alright, let's just do this. We can take out the Blood Imp next turn.
Hey, lights out.
And this is why Crazed Alchemist is in the deck, because there's almost always a situation where he's at least average. And that was basically that situation. He just came down and dealt 3 damage. So I mean, that's pretty good. I got a full card out of him because he used the Demon Fire on it, so that was good. Alright, so he's probably, yeah, okay, I would take out that if I were you, yeah. And that's less than perfect, but I could really use another spell damage guy here. No, but I did get another Fan of Knives. Alright, that's fine. I can probably just do 2 of these. Oh, okay, well I could do Deadly Poison plus Blade Flare. That's not so good. Alright, yeah, I don't need to waste another spell. I can just do this. Got a whole bunch of good stuff in hand. He's only on 1 card. It's going to be pretty tough. I mean, if he keeps drawing like Doomguard and Argent Commander, he's going to be able to burn me out, because that's an issue with this deck, is it doesn't have taunts, so I can't deal with charge creatures well. They're always going to be able to hit me once. Ooh, that's a good one. It would be nice to have had like a Gadgetzin or something like that, because I've got a lot of spells in hand, but they're not doing too much for me. There's a Black Knight. It's fine. Nowhere near killing him, so it doesn't pay to eviscerate yet. I want to keep it just in case I actually need it for something. I'm definitely getting dangerously low here. Alright, looks like I'm just going to Blade Flurry this turn. Ooh, there's an Azure Drake. So I don't even need to Blade Flurry, I can Fan of Knives. Get to draw a card also. And does it pay to attack here? Attack him down to 13. Then next turn I can hit him for 4, that'll be 9. And then 1, that'll be 8. 5, that'll be 3. And then I'll be 1 point short. So I guess I may as well keep the dagger around for another turn, in case I need to attack a creature, though I do have an Assassinate if I do need to attack a creature, and I can cantrip the Assassinate by... Oh my god, I forgot about draw! How did I not? Okay, so it wouldn't have been lethal anyway. He had the Shadow Bolt. Alright. So that thing doesn't really pay to use the Blade Flurry before, I can just do it after. And I think I do want to actually kill it though. But it's fine, because I can cantrip with the Gadgetzin. Oh wait, I don't have a spell damage out, and I don't have enough mana to do it, so that's okay. That was a mistake though. I probably should have just not attacked first. There's another Blade Flurry. Forgot that I didn't have a spell damage out. That could be game losing mistake, because I'm only at 60. Okay, you got a Mortal Coil here. That's fine. My opponent is like drawing as many cards as me, which is ridiculous in this kind of deck. Don't really need the Gadgetzin at this point. I have enough gas in hand to deal with whatever my opponent's trying to do. That's perfect. Now I can just take it out. And Soulfire, losing the last card in your hand? That's such a mistake. Okay. And I think I just want to clear his board here, because looks like I'll have lethal next turn, pretty much regardless of what I do. And regardless of what my opponent can do. Alright, that was actually not such an easy win. My opponent was playing a pretty reasonable Warlock aggro deck. So, yeah, not a bad one. I think that I might actually count that one. He's playing a list very similar to Reynad's. Looks like he was hedging a little bit more towards trying to beat the mirror matchup, so he tossed in those Sen'jin Shield Masses, but no, it didn't really seem like he was playing a weak deck, which is, again, sometimes the case that you run into, like the first round. Probably just play one more game. Hopefully get on a little win streak here. I lost the first one before recording. I didn't play today, but still, which makes it a little bit awkward, because then I don't know. I like winning. Winning streaks are good. Definitely helps. I've already lost twice, which is ridiculous. Hoping like to go through all the way to at least till 15 without losing. But all right, so probably don't need any of these Blade Flurries. I'm playing against Mage, which is typically, if it's gonna be like an aggressive deck, it's not gonna have a lot of small creatures. Deadly Poison's a good card, so I'm almost never gonna be upset about having it in hand. This card I don't want at all right now. It's very, very bad for me. I guess the only way it could be useful is if I need to take out a couple of things and I want to play Geomancer and Preparation in the same turn very early in the game. I actually am going to attack here because there's a good chance that next turn I do nothing but Deadly Poison, so I can just Dagger first and then Deadly Poison, and this just gets me a free damage, which could be relevant in the late game, because I expect this game to go long, and maybe exact damage will be necessary. Plus, I mean, mages don't really play a lot of creatures that are good to Deadly Poison and hit with a 3-power dagger, basically. Except for that. Alright, we'll take that out here. And again, we weren't going to do anything else with the mana here, so we just basically got a free damage. And used all our mana both turns, which is nice. But I didn't use all my durability on the first dagger, so I guess that was technically a waste. It's an interesting way that they balance this ability, because most things... What the hell? That's annoying. There's a Blood Mage down this, but I mean, I don't have a Fan of Knives or anything. Alright, I'll just play one.
Here we go.
Playing one to trade with the Panther here, because like, even though obviously my opponent is not playing a perfect deck if he's playing Jungle Panther in his Mage deck, but I still have to respect the fact that this is a 4-power creature that I need to deal with, and like, it hitting me in the face and then me Deadly Poisoning and hitting it again is just not an acceptable way to deal with the card. This is annoying. I hope I draw an Eviscerate here. That would be my best draw. Alright, well, let's do this. And again, we can still draw an Eviscerate. Shiv. Well, I could actually take out the Water Elemental. But then I can't kill the Panther. Alright, I'll just kill the Panther here. SI7 agent. Okay, sure, whatever. And we're gonna get frozen next turn anyway, so may as well just attack. Actually, he might not. He might just kill the thing, which would be fine, actually. Because then I could just take it out with a SI7 agent plus like a Jalera Mage or something like that. Anyway, it was an interesting way that they balanced this hero ability, because it only does 1 damage, whereas like Mage to do 1 damage, it can just target whatever it wants. So that's an advantage, because it doesn't have to take a hit like Shapeshift or whatever. Most of the other ones, they either deal 2 damage or gain 2 life, or like Shapeshift deals 1 and gains 1. So they balanced it pretty interestingly. Oh my god. I need to draw a removal spell here. Or a mass removal spell, I mean. That's not a mouse removal spell. Alright. How do I deal with this board? I have no spell power. I have a bunch of spell powered creatures, but no spell power. I mean, like, no, it doesn't do anything. Playing Gadgets into Deadly Poison. Play Deadly Poison into SI7 agent, take out that, waste most of my Deadly Poison, make Blade Flurry a bad draw. At least I can still make a dagger after this. I can make a dagger before. I'll get another activation out of the Deadly Poison.
This guy's toast.
Do I want to kill this thing? Yeah, I want to kill that thing over the Water Elemental for sure. And I really need to draw into one of those, one of my 2 Blade Flurry or 2 Fan of Knives. Those actually seem pretty important here. I guess I didn't really predict my opponent to be playing such a creature deck, such a big creature deck. But maybe I should have. Yep, if I draw anything here. Yeah, that was pretty good, but it wasn't perfect. You would have rather had 2 hits on that than one of the hits on me. Yeah, really need to hit one of those spells here, either of those two. Gadgetzin. I guess I just play Gadgetzin to absorb some damage here. It's pretty unlikely for me to go 12 cards in and not see one of those 4 spells, especially since I have some draw power in this deck. Well, that doesn't mean anything. But yeah, 12 cards in, that means that I've seen 2/5 of my deck. And yeah, I've seen 2/5 of my deck, and I haven't seen one of 4, so I don't know, that polymorph seems a little bit, oh, maybe not weak. Alright, last turn. There we go. Get there. Alright, so we can... I can't afford to do this first because I need to take out that thing. So I need 1 spell damage on board at least. I'm still probably dead here. I guess I may as well play 2. Well, if I do Blood Mage Downthose, then I can still dagger up after, which is slightly better. But it just dies to a ping, but then the ping's hitting my creature instead of me. Alright, we're a long shot to win this one. But still in it, I guess. Arcane Intellect. That's going to be a bad one, because obviously my opponent's got 2 fireballs in the deck. There's no way that that's not true, and I'm only at 9. I've seen 1 Frostbolt, but only 1. And I need to keep the board completely clear, and I don't have the tools in hand to do it. Playing this out is actually a pretty good play, because now I get to draw an extra card, and hopefully I'll draw into a spell, which I can use to draw into this, to draw with this. Alright. There we go. 3 damage with that. Blade Flurry. It's nice. Nice to have for next turn. I think I have to play around Flame Strike here, which is a little bit awkward because I'm not really in a position to be playing around anything. But if I don't have at least 1 spell damage, then this Blade Flurry is not going to be good enough to do anything. So gotta slightly play around Flame Strike here, because it's very likely that my opponent has it. And an ooze. That's okay. I can still take care of this, fortunately. In a better way. Could have been a knife. Out of Gadgetzins, which is not necessarily great. But this guy being alive is very good for me. Have I seen any of my Eviscerates yet? I have not. So there's still 2 Eviscerates in this deck. These are my last 2 area of effect things. Black Knight off the top? Okay. Actually, I just need a spell damage. No, I can just hit it with that. Alright, we'll start with this. And maybe I can draw spell damage. Well, that would have been nice before, but not so great now. Alright, and can I afford to hit? No, I cannot. And I think I just want to hope for a Devilsaur. Yeah! Got the Devilsaur. Alright.
Well played.
I'm not sure if this is going to be a well played I win or a well played nice job getting the Devilsaur. But, I mean, if my opponent has 2 fireballs and I still just lose. Oh, okay, it's just a polymorph. I thought it was going to be a fireball on my guy, and I was like, oh my god, that's amazing. Is this a ping on my guy or a ping on... Yeah, just trying to decide. Ping on me. Alright, well, I have to use the Assassinate here, but that's okay. I could backstab and then attack with both my guys, but I need my guys alive. Let's Shiv first. See what our options are here. Size 7 agent.
Ha, this guy's toast.
And we don't quite have enough. We're a couple damage shy. Alright, let's see what you got. Do you have 2 burn spells in hand?
Well played.
Well played. Yes, Chillin' Yeti. Not Defender of Argus? Anything but Defender of Argus? Fireball. Oh my god, surviving on 1. Oh my god, well played. Yes. Go, IzDaisho, go! Really, that one draw where I needed to draw that area of effect, and I did. That was the best. But yeah, we got ourselves a nice little win streak going. Always fun to do. And let me know what you think of the deck. I think it's a really fun deck to play. Don't know how competitive it will be at the top, and I do know. I don't think it will be very competitive. It's an interesting take on the Miracle Rogue deck, but in a more budget version, because okay, sure, I'm playing a bunch of legends, but you don't need to play them. They're just small upgrades over the cards I'm already playing. Black Knight is just a meta call, like this card isn't even that good. Tankmaster, you can just run a second Assassinate instead, and that's fine. Leroy is completely unnecessary. You can play any other, like you can play a Chillwind Yeti in this spot, and it might even be better. And Blood Mage you kind of want, because you really want as many 2 damage things as you can get your hands on. But it's not, I mean, it's probably the most important legend. So like you really need 1 legend for this deck. And Pagel is just a good draw engine, but if you can't have a Pagel, then you can play other stuff and you'll be fine. So this deck, while it does have 5 legends in it or something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it has 5 legends in it. You don't really need them. Although honestly, if I had a Van Cleef, I'd definitely play it in this deck. So probably should be running 6 legends. Maybe even another one in some spot. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a wonderful day. Bye.